But Shahid Siddiqui, over to you. Is the former President APJ Abdul Kalam, is he somebody you would like to see in Rashtrapati Bhavan again?
We have not discussed any name. What I said was that if there is a consensus on any name, let that be of Dr. Abdul Kalam, or let that be of anyone else, let that be a political person or a non-political person, but there has to be a consensus in the present political scenario. There has to be a consensus on a name which is independent, which is acceptable, and which is popular. And if that happens, then we are all for it.
Sudhinder Kulkarni, would the BJP look at supporting their candidate, former President APJ Abdul Kalam? Is there a possibility of an SP? We've heard apparently of an SP, AIADMK, Trinamool possible acceptance of Dr. Kalam's name. Would the BJP be inclined to go along?
No, that is for the BJP to clarify, and the party will make it clear at the right time. It is certainly not proper for me to comment on what is likely to happen. But the debate now is, and which is being triggered by Sharad Pawarji's statement, that there should be a non-political person. Whether a person comes from a political background or from a non-political background, once he or she occupies that august office, the person has to be non-political. And we have some, outstanding examples in our history when someone from a completely non-political background made an outstanding president. Take Dr. Radhakrishnan, for example. He had nothing to do with politics, but he was a great philosopher.
In fact, many said the trend went the other way. The trend was debased when he started bringing politicians in a way into Rashtrapati Bhavan, though we had some sterling examples.
In fact, we've had some outstanding presidents who came from a political background. Of course, we have Dr. Kalam's example, but Venkatraman, see, Venkatraman was Home Minister, he was Defense Minister, he was a congressman, but when he became president, he upheld the constitutional values, and in fact, he was president at one of the most delicate moments in our history. There were 4 prime ministers in his tenure of president, but he gave a very good account of himself. So the point is that whosoever becomes president must be, people must look up to him or her. Unfortunately, and I must add this, the political considerations that went into making the incumbent president were truly questionable, and that's become very clear.
So it's made it even more crucial now, perhaps. Well, also joining me tonight is former Lok Sabha Speaker Somnath Chatterjee, and again a political veteran and statesman of our times. Mr. Chatterjee, we heard so often, in fact, when you look back at 2007, that your name had once emerged as a possible presidential contender. You've always ruled that out. But when you watch now as an observer what's going on in the negotiations for who will be India's next president, what are your views? Do you think it should be a person who can rise above political parties? Do you think, as some said, that as a constitutional post, a president must be well versed with politics? Who would you like to see as the next president of India? Who is the kind of person you would like to see?
A person who will be fully committed to our constitutional principles, constitutional provisions, the very ethos of India's constitution should be preserved by him and should be protected by him. The whole republic should be protected by him. Therefore, I don't understand with the question of politician, non-politician. Well, a politician is supposed to be also have the pulse of the people's feelings. So he should understand also that is very important. But the question as a president, he becomes the face of the nation. He or she becomes the face of the nation, in which the nation as a whole must have faith and respect for him or her. And the question, who should be totally committed to upholding our constitution, the basic principles of our constitution, and will hold the balance evil. And obviously, there is no question of any partiality or any special favor for anybody when somebody is a president. That's the concept of president I have. It doesn't mean that only somebody outside politics is suitable. It's not that means that every politician in this country is unsuitable for important positions, which I don't agree with that. There are politicians and politicians, but there are many question marks these days that does not mean a politician ipso facto becomes ineligible. I feel the question is selecting a proper person who has a commitment to our constitution.
Do you have the NDTV Profit app? All the markets, all the news and your own homemade, ready-made portfolio available there for you.
We will right now answer what you should sell, what you should buy when markets are down.
Download at ndtvprofit.com/apps. Get the best app from the channel you trust.